My name is Ashley Saxby. I'm the Gender Justice Coordinator and also the Southeast Asia Coordinator of Asia Floor Wage Alliance, or AFWA. AFWA is a labor and social alliance of garment workers, trade unions, and labor rights organizations. We have over 50 members in 7 different garment production countries in Asia, and we support workers' struggles for living wages, to end and prevent gender-based violence and harassment, and to advocate for regulation of garment global supply chains. So fashion brands based in the West or so-called developed countries really have all of the power in global supply chains. And so they outsource production to, less developed countries or countries where workers basically receive poverty wages, such as in many countries in South and Southeast Asia. So brands have so much power on one end, and they price their purchase orders very low through coercive means, essentially the threat to take their business out and move it elsewhere. So they approach the whole region, with an average acceptable cost, and they're creating this fiercely competitive environment where the cost of labor is basically artificially suppressed. And all of this is so brands can maximize their profits, while the profit share that goes to the suppliers is much smaller. And of course, that share that goes to workers is just a pittance. And so basically, because these brands have this regional strategy, keeping the average cost of production low across the region through the threat of relocation, we really need the bargaining power of workers to also have this regional level, to have this regional strategy to contend with this, regional strategy of brands. So, if we only focus on country level organizing, then that leads to division of workers within the region by country. So, of course, women make up the majority of garment workforces, somewhere between 70 and 80%, and a large portion of these women are supporting their entire family. And we know that women's labor is historically paid much less than men because their work is undervalued, and because of this false idea that men are the main breadwinner, so that women's income can just be supplementary, which we know isn't true. Many women garment workers are the single earner in their households. So at the same time, women tend to have the double burden or the unpaid responsibility of doing the domestic work and care work, like child work or housework, this kind of thing, work that is usually done without pay, or could sometimes be purchased on the market for things like, if you hire a domestic helper or childcare. So the Asia floor wage is a living wage figure that includes a family's actual expenses for care work, or the true cost of women workers' family expenses. So we always say that solving the problem of gender-based violence and harassment really goes hand in hand with solving the problem of freedom of association. That women are often prevented from unionizing and becoming union leaders, because women who face harassment and violence daily can't really be expected to join unions under those conditions of fear and abuse. So we really have to tackle the problem of gender-based violence and harassment in order for women to form and join unions. So AFWA's approach, what we call the safe circle approach, is something that was conceived of by women leaders from garment unions. So what this does is really builds leadership at production lines inside factories, and it also integrates unionization as a part of that process. And we've seen tremendous success in this, especially with the landmark Dindigul Agreement, which was an enforceable brand agreement that was won by Asia Floor Wage Alliance, the labor union TTCU, and GLJ-ILRF, and signed with fashion brands H&M, Gap, and PVH, and the garment supplier Eastman Exports. So this really created an independent grievance mechanism that is led and trusted by women workers, and that includes union management dialogue to resolve issues before they really escalate, and that has the backing of fashion brands who are obligated through the agreement to use their leverage to support this union-driven mechanism. So we've seen extraordinary results in the first year and are confident that this is a really promising way forward to actually transform the industry.